Where to start with NLP techniques? Are you on the right path right now? Are you making progress? Do you even understand really what NLP is? And what do you need to get to the next level? Many people don't, and that is why apparently I received many comments from you guys telling me I want to master NLP from zero. Can you please provide a roadmap? I want to self-reframe my own limiting belief about learning because I don't seem to be able to motivate myself to learn for long enough. I start and then I stop again and again. I need a process for learning. Which videos do you recommend to start with? I don't know where to start because you have too many videos, Matteo. Yes, sorry about that. I know I produce a lot. How to make language patterns, all of that. We are going to address your concerns here and give you a clear roadmap for where to start and based on where you are, what is the next step. This video is going to be the introduction to a playlist that you can find down below in the description that I have called Start Here. I couldn't be more clear than that, so that you will know which of all of my videos content, what is to be watched first if you really start from zero, or if you just have a bit of understanding but it is massively confusing for you and you don't really get results. Start there, and down below also there is a small document, a PDF you can download right away, where all those videos will be categorized one day at a time. You have 5 days, 4 videos per day, so 20 videos in total, all of them in this playlist. And in the PDF down below you have the explanation for why should you watch this first, in which order, and what to apply first. And the reason I have organized those videos in this sequence specifically, I did my best to give you the most practical roadmap ever, so that you can mix between watching, learning passively, watching, understanding from what others do, because I have included some breakdowns of Tony Robbins, of Russell Brand, of people like that, alternating between watching others do and doing a few things yourself to connect the dots. When you can mix both together, as you learn NLP or any kind of skill, basketball, singing, whatever you want, when you can alternate between watching somebody else doing it and you doing it, those are the fastest breakthroughs ever, because your mind will connect more easily the dots for what am I missing and what specifically is going to make me jump to the next level. That is the best learning strategy I have found out over the years. The next step to really develop skills with NLP, language patterns, hypnosis, sleight of mouth, all of those things, is to only focus, because I know many people are confused about the quantity of material, to only focus on the one thing you can't remove right now. So you simply ask yourself, especially if you are at a phase where you didn't really make progress, you have started, but then you just delayed it and didn't really get motivated anymore. In that specific case, listen closely. You have to figure out, from all the things I have been reading, from all the things I have been watching into NLP, into hypnosis, what is the one right now that I literally can't escape or remove if I want to make progress today? If you want to make progress today, and maybe not right now, but let's say that right now, this day or tomorrow, you will have to complete one action, one task, one exercise, whatever it is, one mental process, anything. If you had to do only one thing to make progress today or tomorrow, what is the one you can't remove? You may think about, I need to practice anchoring, I need to read about Richard Bandler on how he uses the meta model, I need to use this sleight of mouth technique I heard from Matteo, I need to practice with hypnotic induction from Erickson. Okay, from all of those things, from all of those, like the motivation strategies, the submodalities, meditation, from all of those, if you had to make progress, if you were to make progress, if you were guaranteed to make progress by today, what is the one thing you could not be able to remove to make sure that you make progress today or just tomorrow? And that one thing is the only one you will have to get consistent with. Everything else, when you will have time, okay? When you will have time, you can add more spices, more sprinkles on your techniques. in the beginning, just what is the one thing you can't do without. And ultimately, and I know this advice won't be applicable to everyone watching, but ultimately the people from you who will master those skills the fastest are the ones who will find a way to connect the learning and the development of those skills, language patterns, persuasion, sleight of mouth, meditation, whatever. People who will find a way to connect those skills, development of those skills, with an identity belief or an identity outcome. I want to become the person who X or Y. I am becoming the person who can this. I am becoming a famous coach like Tony Robbins. Why not? Be careful about this. Make sure it is your goal and not what somebody else has put into your head. I want to become a hypnotist, but in that case, why do you want to become a hypnotist? I want to become the greatest salesperson or the greatest copywriter who can write a great copy to make sales. Why not? Explain why do you want that. Just who are you becoming through mastering those skills? I am becoming a politician eventually. Who are you becoming? And why is it relevant and important to become that person? That is a deeper topic, I know, because not everyone is at this level of self-awareness of who do they want to become. Maybe you are. Some people will need more time and maybe some therapy before they can figure out something deeper like this about themselves. Just as soon as you can figure that out, all of those techniques will become extremely easy to master, and you will have an easier time to go through the pain period. The pain period is where you don't make any progress at all despite providing efforts. You will figure out new ways of accomplishing those results faster because it will be connected to some deeper goal about yourself, not just about what somebody else has done, because everyone loves watching Richard Bandler and Tony Robbins. Those people are not you. And you are not them. They had their own outcomes, their own goals. Those people have struggled in different ways than you did. You are not other people, you are yourself. Therefore, how can those techniques integrate themselves in the development of the person you are becoming right now? So all of those videos on the playlist down below or on the side somewhere on your screen, depending on where you watch this, all of those videos will be organized in a specific order. I did my best to organize it so that your mind can follow one step at a time and figures out what is the most relevant first. And many of them will point to other resources, courses, other PDFs. If you watch them from this playlist, just ignore for now the other PDFs, courses mentioned in those, and simply ask yourself with each of those videos one by one, one at a time, how can I apply that into my life? From right now, from today, I watch this. I don't need to watch the 20 videos right away. I just need to watch this one. How can I apply that into my life? From there, your mind will start creating associations. So the plan I am suggesting, and you may follow it or not follow it, up to you. What I am suggesting, if really you are lost, you don't really know what to start with, it is too complex, start on day one by those 4 videos, one by one. One on what I call the most powerful NLP technique. I give a brief overview of what do you find in NLP, in neuro-linguistic programming in general, and what is the thing, the most relevant one. Spoiler alert, it is about anchoring, because without using your own resources to become more motivated about learning, not much will happen anyway. None of the other things will be relevant. So mastering anchoring, you have 2 videos in this first day about anchoring. You have something about NLP modeling, going back at the roots of how they did modeling back in the day and how can you apply it yourself based on the role models you have for mastering hypnosis, conversational skills, anything else you want. And something about learning and bypassing the fear of taking action, which is getting everybody stuck anyway. So I think it is relevant to start by this, the fundamentals of, yes, you are going to be fucking scared about putting some of those techniques into use. That is normal. How do we pass how do we get past that fear? On day 2, we will start with hypnotic language. By then, we will explain theoretically a bit about reframing, how does it work, and why reframing is just putting the spotlight to some other place of the picture, because nothing of what people believe about themselves is true and nothing is false. Same thing about politics, same thing about religion. Nothing is true or false. It is simply what do you allocate your mental resources to. There will be videos in this during this day, the day 2, explaining that concept in more details, giving examples, and you will have a first breakdown of a TV show where you see a massive pattern interrupt being used, and that will give you a first introduction to how those conversational skills can be applied in a real life context, even if it is a TV show, but at least you will have a grasp of that. I have also included in this day 2 something with ChatGPT, an example of a prompt that you can use to start developing your skills right away, even without understanding the theory, even without spending 5 years reading all the books. You can just get results right away and develop your skills right away with ChatGPT. And I think this is really relevant, because if people don't get an early win, something where they feel their skills are improving right off the bat, they just don't keep going because it is too overwhelming. They have to change their habits. It is too much effort. They stop, they give up. So something with ChatGPT I have included here in the day 2 is to make you get some first results right away, so now you are more compelled to get going. On day 3, we are going to get a bit more advanced on how does your mind learns new things. That is the bit of the theoretical aspect. How does your mind learns new things? How does your mind integrate new skill sets, which doesn't happen overnight. It happens through a sequence of different events. How can you simplify that to make sure you do the least amount of effort possible and don't break your head over trying to memorize too much stuff and just give up? You have a bit about NLP language patterns in terms of assembling them together, because NLP language patterns is like a mix of hundreds of different approaches, linguistic approaches that have been published over the last decades. So how can we simplify this to only what you need? And I will give you the basic slide of mouth chart from Robert Dills, and explaining to you on that chart what do I recommend to start with. If you really see that and you don't really know where should you bring the conversation, okay, where to start on that chart when you have it in your mind. What are the first categories on that model that are required to work on in a conversation, and where to go next? Then on day 4, we are going to go much more into breakdowns, and if you have been watching me for a while, you will have already seen those ones. I have put some breakdowns from Tony Robbins, where I show the covert hypnosis skills he is using through both language and tonality of his voice and many other things. You have one from Russell Brand, and at this point you can also watch other of my breakdowns if you wish, and we dive more into the practical side. Okay, we have seen a bit of theory, now let's get practical, and let's see how many of the things you thought you had to do are just irrelevant, because once you see a master doing it, you realize that no, actually you don't need to do that much. It is just very simple things you can do to make progress. And on the last one, day 5, we are going to get more into smaller chunks, into smaller details about linguistic strategies and about some ways to capture attention of people, because now you can speak hypnotically, that's cool. Yeah, but if people don't really listen to you, that's irrelevant. So how can we catch attention? And that day 5 part of the playlist may evolve through time. Maybe I am going to change a few things in this one, but for now you have this, with some last tips on motivation and how to keep the motivation going through time, because none of those skills are going to be mastered in just 2 weeks. I'm sorry, it's going to take a few months at least before you can really get a grasp of how to integrate that into your daily conversations without thinking. You have all of those, all of them one by one. You have the PDF down below in the description that encapsulates all of those and explaining what to start with, why should you start with this, and the key takeaways of all of them. And with that in mind, please be my guest. Comment if you have any more specific questions that haven't been answered by the videos contained in this playlist. In any case, from now, this Start Here playlist will be at the top of my channel, so every newcomer will have a chance to start with something accessible and avoid getting lost in too many details. That is for you. I hope it will be helpful. Ask any questions if you have some, and thank you for watching. Keep going.